The God described in the scriptures is one who burns like fire, who breaks rocks with the sound of his voice, before whom the earth trembles. Sometimes in our anger, this is the way we want to see God strike down our enemies. We want to see heads roll. So it must have been for Elijah. He had just confronted King Ahab and slaughtered the prophets of Baal, and now Queen Jezebel was after him. The royals had been successful in killing off all the big-name prophets and consolidating power, and now Elijah was hiding in fear for his life. What better time for God to shake the earth, break rocks, and consume with fire? Elijah fled to Mount Horeb. The Almighty came to him in a cave. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah desperately explained the dire situation to the Lord. The Lord told him to go out upon the mountain. And a great and strong wind tore the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. It seems that the Lord was not in any of the places where Elijah expected to find him. So then, where? And after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood in the entrance of the cave. And there the voice of the Lord spoke to him again. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" As if to ask, "What have you learned from all this?" But Elijah's answers didn't change. Sometimes God doesn't answer man's wrath with his own, choosing the way of grace instead. Jonah learned that lesson the hard way. Elijah seems not to have learned it. It's a hard lesson to learn. Just because we're angry, we needn't expect God to lash out against people whom he is patiently trying to win over through his grace and gentleness. We should all be glad that God is not as impatient with us as we sometimes wish he was with others.